Hey, you know what's really strange is when you get a phone call from a relative you haven't talked to in a little while. They find your YouTube video and you find out you have really similar interest. And, well, I have to tell you about that. Coincidence is just God's way of staying anonymous. I've said that for a long time. And, you know, I have to tell you, God, thank you for being in my life.
From the great American Southwest, deep in the heart of the Texas Hill Country near the mystical land of the Enchanted Rock, welcome to my little corner of the internet. I'm J.W. Spencer, and this is my Vision Quest.
So, my Uncle Larry called me this morning out of the blue. A few days ago, I did a Skinwalker Ranch Season 2, Episode 2, just a live show about my thoughts about the show. I've already scheduled Season 2, Episode 3, which is coming up on the 18th. So if you'd like to watch that, that will be at 9:15. I want to take 15 minutes after the show is ended. I think History Channel ends the show at 9:03 Central Time. And I want to take some time and get my 3x5 index cards together. And I'm going to start the show, the actual show at 9:15, but I may at 9 o'clock, I'm going to start the pre-show. So if you have questions or comments that you'd like to make and make me aware of before I start the actual show, you can submit those in the chat section. So when I launch the show, we can talk about it. I would like to do, maybe in the future, I'd like to get my Uncle Larry. He's really into Skinwalker Ranch as well, and I think his wife Kathy kind of bugs him because he does what I do. We both do the same thing as we watch the show, and then we'll rewatch it maybe a day or two later and watch it again. And my wife says the same thing to me that his wife does. You've already seen that. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll watch it again. I may have missed something, or I want to comprehend and rethink what I was thinking and maybe thinking a little bit differently. But anyhow, I found out some things. I started this channel way back when, a few years ago, and my first video that I upload is called Introduction. And in that video, I said that I wanted to connect with family members who are far away and removed. And my Uncle Larry reached out to me this morning with a phone call because he's into Skinwalker Ranch. I did not know this, but he's into Skinwalker Ranch. He goes, hey, out of the millions of videos on YouTube, he came across that video that I did last Tuesday night. Hey, that's Jeff. So he gave me a call this morning and we were talking about stuff. Come to find out, my Uncle Larry and myself are like, we're very similar. We have a whole bunch of hobbies and, some things that I want, my Uncle Larry already has, like a 3D printer. He has it. I want a drone. He has it. An embroidery printer. He has it. Like his wife is into quilting. My cousin is into crochet. But he helps his wife with her quilting projects by doing embroidery. And I'm like, duh, I don't buy that stuff because, I have other expenses ongoing. So one of the reasons why I want to do this YouTube thing is because when you watch this and the advertising stuff, and I get recompensed, I get a little bit of a kickback from Google for you watching this, then I can buy those. I like the embroidery thing. I can help my wife Tracy. She's really into quilting and crochet. And if I had if I had a little bit of extra money that I didn't have to go to medical bills, I could buy an embroidery thing and help my wife with her hobby. It helps calm her. It helps reduce the stress levels, and we don't have to go to the hospital. So I'm just going to put that out there, okay? But to get back to what I wanted to talk about today was coincidence. Because a few videos ago, I said that I wake up every night at 3 a.m. Well, I did last night again, and I'm writing. I had a very vivid dream about a story, and it was a story that I think somebody's trying to tell me a story that they want to be told. It's the only way I can put that out. That I wrote down the notes, and I know what it is. And the title of this, it came to me, 17 Days in Hell. It's not about going to hell. It's about 17 days of someone who was with a Marine Corps unit in a battle, who later they were not a Marine when they were part of this, but they became a Marine after that 17 days based upon the Marines' behavior. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I don't know why I had this dream, other than it was really vivid. And the people in this dream that I had, I knew. Can't explain it. I knew. But I know the story, the 17 Days in Hell, because it was shown to me in my dream as a book. 17 Days in Hell. Now, somebody's probably going to write a book and they're going to steal the title from me, but you know what? I'm not going to tell you what transpires. Should I? I should probably copyright what the book's about so nobody knows. I already told you a little bit about it, but the specific story itself is really compelling to me, and it's really uplifting, and it's a good story about a good character, about good things, about doing the right things for the right reasons, and not being evil, not being bad, not being horror, but finding the good in the bad. I've talked about finding the beauty where none is thought to exist. That has been my whole mantra in my photography. When I take, some of that intro that you see, all of that intro actually is video that I've taken of places that I've been, of travels, and of things that I've seen. And some of those photos that I've taken, I've made some money off those photos. I'm going to be honest with you. Of the photos that I've taken of Houston, of San Antonio, of Austin, I've made some photos. I was actually asked by a tourism group, I would say government-funded tourism. They've now been defunded. Sunset, we call it here in Texas. But I was asked to travel and take pictures, and they would use them in their promotional materials and in the Texas magazine, the Texas Highways magazine. And I kind of kick myself now. I should have taken them. They were going to pay for my travel, for my expenses, my lodging, my food, and all I had to do was take photos. And I kind of kick myself now. Looking back on that, I should have taken. That was a few years, like 4 years ago, I was asked to do that, and I should have done that. Yeah. At the time, I thought, if I work for somebody else, then I take photos for self-enjoyment, for self-discovery, for creative efforts of going out and finding things that I'm interested in, and taking pictures that I love, about things that I love. Finding beauty where none is thought to exist. And I usually do that at, before the sun comes up, I'm there. And until about maybe 2 hours after the sun comes up, that's the time that I'm busy. And the same thing at sunset, golden hour, either before the sun or after the sunset or sunrise. That's where I'm busy. And they didn't say as much, but I kind of got that feeling where if I accept this assignment or if I accept this proposal from you, you're going to tell me where to take pictures. And I maybe I should have said stipulation is you cannot tell me where to go other than a general area. If they had agreed to that, I probably I should have said yes. But anyhow, coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. My Uncle Larry called me and we talked for quite a few, for a while. And we talked about various things. And I didn't know how similarly we were, because the reason why he found my Skinwalker Ranch video, I mean, yes, he's in the Skinwalker Ranch, but he found it because he woke up at 2:30 in the morning, couldn't go to sleep, and he got on the internet and started searching for Skinwalker Ranch, and he came across my video. Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. I think that is kind of cool. And I last talked to my uncle when my mother was on her deathbed, and she passed away not soon after he left. And when he called me today, I think that both of us realized, we are something greater than what we appear to be. And I think that when coincidence happens in your life, you should listen to it. You should pay attention to it. You should not shy away from it. And I miss my Uncle Larry, and I miss my cousin and my cousins. There are some good things in the world, and we should pay attention to them. And I promised my uncle that, when I'm in Ohio next, I plan on going to Ohio, taking pictures of the fall, leaves changing of southern Ohio, and I'm going to visit. And he stated, he wants to come down here and reconnect with my dad and my wife and I. And, I have a spare bedroom and he has a spare bedroom. And we kind of made that promise to each other that, I'm his nephew and he's my uncle and we're family. And that's okay. It's a good thing. And I never realized, my uncle is a ham radio operator. He flies remote control airplanes. I have flown real airplanes in the past. I never got my pilot's license, but I came, I think my cross-country trip and my checkout. I did my written exam, scored 100. I did my first cross-country, but I didn't do the second, which was a longer one. I had to have enough hours. You have to have like 40 hours before you get your pilot's license. I have well over 100 hours of flying time now. But I never completed that loop. And, when you have a family and you have other responsibilities and you have to take care of things that are close to home, if your wife gets sick, you kind of put those things in the background. You say, okay, I could do that, but I don't have to do that. I have to do this. Those are the choices and coincidence, But my Uncle Larry got me thinking, because he uses his 3D printer, or he wants to use his 3D printer to print a remote controlled aircraft. And it got me thinking, geez, because what I've been thinking about using a 3D printer for is, I want to do masculine jewelry, of a spiritual jewelry, something that forgive me, something that a reverend or a priest would wear, something that uses earth stones, emeralds or quartz rocks, basically. But Earth rocks. I mean, it's quartz. Quartz vibrates at 60 hertz. You apply 5 volts to a quartz crystal and it will vibrate at 60 hertz. Right. There's a whole bunch of things about earth rocks and about the legends of Native Americans using earth materials, because we are creatures of the earth and this is our home. And the earth is a part of us. We are 98% water. And I just think it's interesting all around. But 3D printing is something that I like to do. Buying a drone. I mean, what would I use a drone for? I mean, I've always wanted a drone, but I can't justify the expense of getting a drone when I have medical bills to pay, unless it paid for itself. 3D printer, I think I can make it pay for itself if I produce something that people would be interested in buying. Or producing something that I need in life. You know, I think Uncle Larry, he talked about, he printed a snow shovel handle. Really, he did. He printed a snow shovel handle. I think that's cool. I think I could do that. But what would I print? I don't know. Something I need? I mean, I have various projects around the house that I need to get done. We had a hailstorm last month, and my roof is hopefully, the adjuster's already inspected our roof, and hopefully I'll hear back from the insurance company, and we'll get approval to move forward and, you know, get a roof replacement. The adjuster said there's enough damage and I'm going to recommend a full roof replacement. I'm like, yes, thank you. Cause I'm after that last hailstorm, it kind of scared me because we also had that ice storm back in February. And I'm like, you know, ice storm and then hailstorm. And then this is May, which is typically in Texas, it is a very violent storm season. So hopefully, you know, 1st of June or so, we'll get a full roof replacement done. But there are some other things that I need to do and some things that I need to fabricate. And I'd like to fabricate them, if I can, in pieces, smaller pieces, in order to fit them together, because I want to do a metal railing, but I want to have a different design. And maybe I can fabricate a 3D design of my railing for my house and put it in place and get a pre-approval from my wife. Tracy, what do you think of that railing? Oh, you want it thicker there? Hey, yeah, that's something I can do. You know, I'm thinking about how can I do. That's a justification for getting a 3D printer. Now I just have the money. Anyhow, so coincidence. I enjoyed talking to my Uncle Larry today and thinking about the first video that I put up on YouTube about becoming closer to family, friends, far removed by time and distance. And I think I had my first realization of the fact that my Uncle Larry reached out to me because of the coincidence of him waking up in the middle of the night. I don't know, maybe it's a family trait of waking up at 3 a.m. I do it, he does it. But it's a good thing. And with that said, I guess I just want to say, hope that you enjoy my videos. And I hope you find them interesting and entertaining. Today's just a talkie about coincidence. About being more than who we appear to be here on Earth. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching my videos. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Click that little bell if you want to get notification. My next live show is going to be on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. We're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 3, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. I hope you'll join me then. And until then, I hope you have a great day, great night. Have fun. See ya.